This is the second tutorial of how to measure the light using a camera. We don't have the light meter, so we're gonna use a camera to meter with it. First thing, I'm going to use AV. AV, not manual, not any others. AV, because AV will give us the we will be in charge of or we can select the aperture ourselves. So for this scene I've got good lighting. It's a golden hour, which is soon's gonna be sunset, but a couple of hours before that is a good golden hour, as it's called. So I'll go for 11. My metering is a partial metering. The camera will give me the speed. My ISO is 200. I can even lower it down to 160 or 125 because I have good lighting. There is no clouds anymore in the sky as it was a few minutes ago. And to meter, I will zoom in all the way and go to the dark gray, which is those buildings at the back. Just on the right side of the wheel of the London Eye. Once I measure there, I just touch here. The camera will give me 1/60th of a second. I will press the star button to lock the meter in. So once I release, it will always stay. Wherever I point the camera, even to brightest side or darkest side, 160 doesn't move. Then I'll frame my shot. It's still 160, it's not moving because it's already locked. And I just take a shot. As you can see, the lighting is almost perfect. We can't see it clearly here, but it's almost perfect. What I'll do again, keep it the same thing, keep the same way, F11. Then I put my camera to focus on those buildings again. And then I lock with the star. I've got another one here on the grip. It's the same thing as the top. Lock with the star. This time the camera gave me 200th of a second. So I frame it vertically. It's slightly too dark, but it's good. I've got blue sky, I've got very good tonal range all over around, but I can still process it afterwards. What I'll do now, I go back to manual. Remember it was F11 and it was 200th of a second. I'll go to manual now. I'll go to F11 and then I'll increase my speed up. It was 160 the first shot, 200 and then 125th of a second. So manual mode now, I am in charge of everything. And I'll go for another shot. The shot is very good also. It's very clear all around, blue sky. Because this lighting at 45 degrees and very low light, not really harsh light as we normally get at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's very good light for landscape photography. It gives us some warmth. My white balance, sorry I forgot that, is set on the cloud or sunlight. It's more or less the same thing. 5400 Kelvin. If you can set it manually, then it's better. This is what it's called bracketing. Once I set my aperture at f11, so I can bracket my speed. It's called bracketing. So from first was 1/60th of a second, then we did a 200th of a second, then 125th of a second. Then we can, either increase or decrease our shutter speed to get the best exposure. Then once on a computer, you can define the best exposure. Another thing with this is we go to the info and have a look at the histogram. The histogram should be in the middle. This is very good. So at 1/60th of a second was the best one because it's very good in the middle as a delta in the middle. If it's 200th of a second, you can see it. So this is the best way to check, because we can't see the image when it's too bright. We can always judge it from the histogram. Once the histogram is busy, from the left side, which is the shadows, to the right side, which is the highlights, the midtones are in the middle. So once busy, like 1/60th of a second was the best one. So we can have it, busy right in the center. If it's too much on the right, then it's overexposed. If it's too much on the left side, then it's too dark. So it's the best way to examine our shots during the daylight, or because during some time that we cannot have a clear view of our LCD, so we can judge it from the histogram. Another way of measuring, if the distance is too far, we can just use our hand, just zoom in, go back to AV. So we select the aperture. Then what I'll do, same lighting, hitting the camera, hitting the scene. So we adjust it here, we just touch, and it's giving me between 200 and 160. So you're just playing around. So measure it with the back of my hand. This is what we used to do during film time. So it's a 200th of a second at the moment. Then what I'll do, I will go back to manual and go to my speed, 200 of a second, F11. We try a shot. And it's quite good. You can see the histogram. So reading just from the back of my hand will give me very good reading, and it's 90% good and reliable.